Hey, good morning, everybody. Jeff Kram, also known as the hardest working man in real estate. Welcome to day 80 of our stay in place order. Morning with coffee with me. And how's everybody doing this morning? If you're here, say hi. I like to hear from everybody. Just kind of hold out here for a few people to come on before I get my ranting and raving going. Day 80 of our stay in place order for coronavirus. They're loosening up the guidelines a little bit here and there. That's good, I guess. I'm a big opponent that we're going to have a problem. Good morning, Haley. How are you? I think that we're going to have some kind of issue with the in the fall, but I'm always the optimist. Always the optimist. Just kind of waiting for more people to jump on. So, looks like we're up to, we got 3 more cases, I believe. So we're up to 36 positive cases in Mendocino County. I don't know if it's community spread or what it is, but we definitely have a few more cases going on. So a little bit of a history lesson today. I'm kind of just waiting for more people. I'm enjoying my coffee. Hope you all got yours, had your coffee this morning. I think it's a kind of an American staple now that we have coffee in the mornings. And wow, no viewers this morning. Well, no viewers. This is weird. I usually have at least 10 people by now. And if you're watching this later on down the line, just fast forward through this. This is very strange. But, all right, well, we're going to jump right into this. So, I figured we're going to start here. I'm going to read y'all something. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one person to dissolve the political bands which have connected them in with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature's God entitled them. A decent respect for the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare that causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derived their powers from the constant of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of this ends, and it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation for which principles organizing its powers in such a form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will induct that governments shall established should not be changed for the light of the transition causes, and according to all experience, hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to the right themselves by abolishing the form to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing an invariable the same objective evidence as designed to reduce them under absolute disposition, it is their right and it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security, such as been the patience suffering of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to the alter their forms, systems of government. The history of this presiding king of Britain is a history of repeated injuries, usurpations, all having an indirect objective to the establishment and the absolute tyranny of these states. To prove this fact, let the facts be submitted to a candid world. So that's the first two paragraphs of our Declaration of Independence. And it's very powerful words, very powerful words. And let's keep in mind that this was written by Thomas Jefferson, who was a white slave owner. At the time, I truly believe that he probably was okay with the dissolution of slavery. The 14th Amendment is what brought ended slavery and really truly created all men equal. But the 14th Amendment really wasn't completely ratified until the 1960s, when and it started with JFK, and this slowly the amendments were written in, and you know, so we're so early, but yet so late to the game that this needs to be addressed. This equality needs to be addressed, and it needs to stop at home. It needs to stop. My grandparents were pretty prejudiced, so it was just there. It was a generational thing. We're losing it each generation. It gets better and better, in my opinion, but it's still not nowhere near. And it's going to take generations to get even better, unfortunately. But so there's your little history lesson for the day. I read the entire Declaration of Independence yesterday. I've never have read the whole thing. I mean, it goes into quite a bit. I mean, it goes into the last paragraph. I mean, it just removing us from the British Crown and the people. You know, this was a hanging offense. There's probably, I don't know how many people signed it, the original draft. And then what I read you was the original verbiage. It's been changed over the years just to kind of clarify and remove some of the Queen's English. But yeah, it's kind of morning, Brad. Morning, Susan. It's kind of fitting for right now. You know, our we feel our government is corrupt, and might be time for a new declaration. You know. I don't know how that will work. We saw what happened in the Civil War with the South receding from the Union. And it wasn't, you know, the South receding from the Union really wasn't the reason why we went to Civil War. And it wasn't because we wanted to free the slaves. It's because we wanted to hold on to our federal land. So the U.S. had federal land, and the bombing of Fort Sumner was the trigger. Obviously, the South was going to try and retake any federal land and wasn't going to play ball. And, well, We see how that ended. Millions and millions of deaths and destruction and just violence and resentment and all those other things that come along with it. Because, man, the South, the Reconstruction of the South died with Grant. Grant was all into the Reconstruction, which is part of the 14th Amendment. And when he left office, the Reconstruction stopped because we went into a series of presidents that were more corrupt than any president today. The period from 1874 to the 19 so at least 30, 40 years of presidents that were just all about big business. Taft, worst ever. They were put in office by big business. Grant wasn't. Grant was total anti-big business, and he was not letting people get away with nothing. He was definitely going after people that were profiteering during the war, and there was a lot of them. A lot of people that tried to profiteer during the war. So our country just kind of went to a downslide after that. The South was left on their own to do their own recovery. The federal government really didn't help out like they should have, even though the federal government was the one that went in and destroyed everything. And the South was left with a bunch of prejudicism. Black folk, they didn't even have Social Security. Most of them didn't have Social Security cards. Even in the 1950s and 1960s, they weren't even putting into Social Security. They had no retirement. They had no nothing. They were still being so oppressed. But when you look back at that point in time versus today, it's come a long way. It's still not equal. It's still not equal. There's still white privilege. There's still all that going on, but they've come a long ways. And everybody's come a long ways with being able to accept and everybody trying to love each other. It's come a long ways. And I think the coronavirus had us really kind of divided as it is. With is it true, is it not true, is it true, is it not true, and wear your face mask. I ain't wearing no damn face mask. That was a big divide right there. Now when you throw this into the mix, okay, so we're all going to agree on everything? No, it's not going to happen. But we definitely need to be more tolerant, and we need to be a little more respectable. And the riots and the looting was just absolutely absurd. That had nothing to do with nothing other than wanting individuals wanting to be just destructive in their nature. Their nature came out. It wasn't just black people; it was white people. I've seen all race and creeds doing the looting through the videos that I've watched. So it's not just one person. It's a large. It was a majority of everybody. a big melting pot doing it. Yeah. All right. Well, I've given you my speech for the day. I'm going to sign out, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Anyway, so here you go. Elbow bump. Live long and prosper. Stay home. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Wear your face mask because you love your fellow human being. I love you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.